Did you know that there is a proper way to draw something as simple as shapes? And that there is a sequence in which your child should learn them? Well, today in this video, I have all the answers for you. Keep on watching to learn. Hello there, mamas. This is Amy, Pediatric Occupational Therapist. If you're familiar with this channel, you already know that. And I am here to provide you with some playful solutions and powerful results. So, I want to talk to you today about a very important subject, and that is how to draw shapes. I cannot tell you how many kids I know are being forced to draw and write too early before they even know how to draw shapes. And that should be your starting point. So today we're going to go over some ways on how to do shapes and tips to make it easier for your child to learn. Before I explain to you exactly how to draw the shapes, I want to talk to you just briefly about why this is important. So one of the things that we need to remember is that children do not necessarily always understand what they see. So we want to give them as much help as we can so that they're not developing habits that are going to be hard to break later on. When we do things like read and write, we write from the top of the page to the bottom, and we read also from the left to the right. So that is also how we should be drawing our shapes. And if your child is learning this, it helps them if they have words to go along with the process. And I've talked about this before in several other videos. I refer to these as action words. They really help us to understand how to draw a line and what direction to go in. So you're going to be hearing a lot of these action words as we are learning how to draw the shapes. It is also important to know that there is a sequence that children often learn how to draw shapes based on the level of difficulty. For example, diagonal lines are not often recognized by children until they are at least 4 years old. So expecting them to draw a triangle is going to be a lot to ask for a kid who just turned 3 years old. So we want to start out with shapes that are easier and then gradually move them towards more difficult shapes. So today I'm going to go through the process of going through this sequence also, as well as the action words, so that you have as much help and assistance as you can. I want you to keep in mind also that when we are learning how to draw letters, some letters are a lot easier than shapes. For example, the letter L is a very easy letter to draw first compared to the letter W, right? So imagine if your child's name starts with the letter A, like mine does. Well, that is a really difficult letter to learn how to draw first. It has diagonal lines and intersecting lines at different points. They may feel like they're failing at something right off the bat, and we don't want children to feel that way. So we want to make sure that we are establishing first how well they are drawing their shapes. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, I usually do not start helping children learn how to write most letters until after they can master that triangle, because that triangle has multiple points, it has its diagonal lines, and guess what? It looks the most like an A. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about drawing these shapes. I also want you to keep in mind the directionality for circular shapes. We are going to be going counterclockwise first. That may seem like a small detail, but actually it's quite important, especially when they're learning letters, and especially lowercase letters like C, D, A, G, Q. All of these letters start counterclockwise. Okay, let's get started. I want to start with the circle. Now you may realize that when children are learning how to scribble, they often scribble in a circular motion. And that's why the circle is the first shape that you want them to do. So again, you're going to start counterclockwise. And this is going to be the same way that you also make an oval. So you want to start at the top. It's great to give them a starting point as a visual to know where they're coming back to. So you start up here, you curve around, right back to the top. Now, if your child is one that continues to keep going, you might want to say something like curve around and stop. That may be just a little bit of help for them to know that they need to stop. Essentially, you can teach the circle and the oval about the same time. What you want to do differently is think about how you say the words. So for oval, I might say curve around, right? Or if it's the more horizontal, curve around. So it's the same words, I'm just stretching them out to let them know that I'm stretching out the line as well. The next shape is super important and often skipped by parents. It is a cross. This is really important because it's just two simple lines intersecting, which is definitely a skill that you need to do other shapes and especially letters. Again, we want to start at the top and we're going to zip down, lift up, and zoom across. Now, notice I said the word pick up. That is an action word to let them know that they need to move their marker, but it's not associated with an actual stroke. You want to say lift up or pencil up. It may vary for you. Just stay consistent. It is really important to use consistent language with children so they do not get confused. When they hear the same thing over and over again, they memorize it and it sticks in their brain more. Another reason why action words are so important is because it helps to integrate all those things into the brain at one time. Your child is going to hear the words, see the motion, and feel it in their joints all at once. And that makes it easier for them to memorize. All right, the next one we're going to do is the square. Now, this is getting closer to your 4-year-old range. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The square, we're going to start out like an L. You're going to zip down, zoom across. Then you're going to lift up and you're going to zoom across and zip down. Remember, you want to go top to bottom, left to right. So you don't want to do this, right? Because often children will either overshoot like that, or they may just kind of round their shape. You want to give them very definitive motions and strokes to make. So again, zip down, zoom across, lift up, zoom across, zip down. You are going to use the same exact words for your rectangle. You're just going to extend and accentuate your words, just like you did for the oval. So zip down, zoom across, lift up, zoom across, zip down. If you want to make your rectangle vertical, same thing. Zip down, zoom across, lift up, zoom across, zip down. Same words, just say it a little bit differently. Okay, so now we are at our triangle. Now, like I said before, the triangle is something with diagonal lines, often not recognized till children are around 4 years old. You want to remember that the triangle is typical around 4.5 years. Now, it doesn't mean they can't learn it before. It doesn't mean they're too far behind if they learn it after. I'm just giving you an average. Remember, start at the top. All shapes start at the top. Okay, so we're going to slide down, lift up, slide down, lift up, zoom across. Now, sometimes a parent will ask me, well, why can't I slide down, zoom across, and then slide down? Well, you can. It's not against the law. But I feel like it's easier the other way. Some kids may be different. But for me, I've noticed that I've had more success doing it slide down, zoom across. The important thing to remember is that they definitely have to slide down, not slide up in this case. The other thing to consider is that when they are making an A, They don't make an A like this and then go like this and then go like this, right? They make the A, slide down, zoom across. So that is the main reason why you would want to do it that way. All right, so those are the main shapes you want to know how to do pretty well before you start going on to learning how to do letters. I want to teach you now a couple more so that you can know how to use the same language. The diamond, you're going to slide down, lift up, slide down, slide down. That looks pretty good. I'm drawing upside down. Our crescent moon. Curve around, lift up, curve around. The heart. Make a hook down, slide down. Make a hook down, slide down. Now, the last one I want to show you is one that is way later on into learning shapes, probably after they're learning their alphabet, but I'm just going to throw it in there while we're talking about it as a bonus for those of you who may be interested. So that is the star. And the star to me is the rule breaker. It's the one where you do not start at the top. And it's just, for me, easier to teach it that way. So here we go. Slide up, slide down, break through, zoom across, slide down. So just as a little recap, our top row is going to be for our 3-year-old range. Our middle row is our 4-year-old range. And then the others are 5 and up and non-specific. So give them a try, use those action words, stay consistent, and I'm certain you will be much more successful. Did you find this video helpful? I hope you did. There are other videos that I'm going to include in the description of this video so that you can have more tips and tricks to help you out. But if you like this video, I hope that you subscribe to this channel, like the video down below, and until the next video, I hope you have a playful day.